Hello and welcome to a new episode of Airport Update, which is not, this is Airport CEO, wrong series. Okay, I mean that's kind of a start. So hello and welcome to a new episode of Airport CEO here on the channel. As always, before we get any further into today's video, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? Alright, so what we want to handle today or tackle today in our build of Geneva Airport are two things. One, I want to build the remote stands that we have at the airport, and I want to also build the gate areas for that, and I want to build a few lounges. Now, I've been thinking long and hard about where we could build the facilities we need to be able to service these remote stands, and I came up with, the area that we are seeing right now, because here we basically have the access from the top level where all the passengers that have arrived at the airport are coming, that are going down towards the baggage retrieval areas. And we have one issue with the whole thing of building remote stands. If you followed the series, you of course know that what we are doing here at the airport is that we are separating passengers that are going out, so outbound passengers, and passengers arriving, so inbound passengers, right at the gates, so they don't really meet at all. But unfortunately in this game with remote stands, you need a bus stop or bus drop point. And this has to be used both for inbound and outbound passengers. You cannot have passengers leaving from one point and arriving passengers coming into the terminal at another point. They have to arrive and leave from the same point. But the perfect thing, or the good thing with this in this case, is that if we're building our gate areas for the remote stands at this end of Terminal 2, we basically have the access area to the areas of the inbound passengers already very close by, and we also have the normal gate areas for outbound passengers close by. So we can kind of build it in a way that both inbound and outbound passengers can reach this area without having to mingle too much with other passengers, because it is at the far end of Terminal 2. So that is the goal for today. Let's see how we are doing with that. Alright, so now that we have started the construction here of the gate areas for the remote stands, I very quickly started to realize one thing, and that is how big should that actually be? And the very simple answer to that question is, well, it depends on how many gates we need to facilitate. So perhaps it would be a good idea to start by actually figuring out how many gates we want to place down here. And one thing I was thinking is that we have our east wing with wide body stands, but this is only for international traffic. And we do get offers for wide body aircraft to come in that are non-international flights. But we have nowhere to actually handle these kind of aircraft or these kind of offers. So I was thinking we should place down at least 2 wide body stands here, which will be handled as remote stands, but that way we can actually also facilitate or handle some of these offers for wide body aircraft that are non-international flights. Then I've also decided to remove this taxiway, or at least move it so that we have a little bit more space for a few more remote stands, because these wide body stands obviously take up quite a bit of space. But I would like to have mainly medium-sized stands here with the remote stand areas. So let's just see how many we can actually manage to get down here. I mean, yeah, so 1, 2, 3, at top, maybe 1 or 2 more. So 5 at the top, and that should give us space here for 2 more stands. So then we have, what, 5 at the top. Very quick thinking, plus 3, that's 8 stands in total. 8 remote gates at this area, and I just need to move these gates a little bit because I need to make sure that I have the access the access road here as well, so that GC doesn't need to make a very long detour to reach these stands. Alright, so yeah, now we know how many gates we need to build, so let's get cracking with that. And I'm of course a complete idiot, because obviously I've placed 5 on the top, and 5 plus 3 is 8, but I've placed 4. 4 remote stands underneath, so we have 9 gates that we need to facilitate. Okay, I mean, that's embarrassing. Alright, so as we are already used to when building Geneva Airport, we don't have much space for pretty much anything. Basically here we have space for 6 bus stops, so we could facilitate 6 gates. I mean, in theory we could facilitate all 9 remote stands from these 6 bus stops, but there is a very good chance that, I mean, this area is already rather small, so it will be quite congested, and if we are operating multiple gates from these bus stops, that will just create a complete traffic chaos. So I think the solution here is that we are making use of the underground as well, because we also need to have some space for the parking spaces for the service cars. Yeah, we need to be a little bit creative here, so I think we will have some gates on ground floor level, and we will have some gates on level -1, so that we actually can facilitate each remote stand with a separate boarding desk and a separate bus stop. And also, of course, again, each remote stand will then have 1 service car park space available for it. That way, even though it will be rather congested with a lot of passengers in a rather small space, we should still be able to handle the traffic using these remote stands more or less as effective as possible. Alright, so now that we have done the gate areas for the remote stands, there was of course a second thing that I wanted to build in today's video, and we still have a little bit of time left. So we are starting off with a little bit of a separate building here in front of our terminal building, which I think ultimately I will use for some administration for the airport. But at the very top level, which we then can connect up with the terminal building, I think that will be a great space for some lounges. Because at Geneva Airport in Terminal 2, at the central area of the terminal, we actually in real life also have lounges for various airlines. One of them, of course, being Swiss, which we haven't signed yet, but as soon as we can sign that airline, we will, of course, do that and also assign one of these lounges to that airline. But there will, of course, be space for a few more lounges, and I will assign them as we go along in the season. But of course you can also feel free to suggest if you would like to see a specific airline have a lounge here at the airport, then you can suggest that in the comment section below. So the basic thing was of course to find a space where we actually could build these lounges, which wasn't that easy because we hadn't really left any space for that. But by building it the way we are doing it now, basically we have the lounges at level 2, and that's actually not far away from how it is in real life in Geneva Airport, because in real life when you pass security and you basically reach like this little central square where you have a lot of shops, you can go one level up, and that's where the lounges at the airport actually are, and this is pretty much what we have here. Now in our build, if you go this level up, you would then actually end up or go towards the east wing. But the good thing with the escalators is of course that they are going both up and down. So passengers going up here can also again go down if they have if they have a Schengen flight, basically. So yeah, this area is very much reachable for all passengers, regardless if they have international flight or non-international flight. So yeah, this is therefore I think really the ideal placement for these lounges. Alright, so while I continue to build these lounges, I think it is time to end today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye. Oh my, what an episode. First I start introducing the wrong series, and then I show my absolute perfect math skills. Great.